Welcome to Fabulous Furry Tales with Fractured Furry Tails with Freya and Squatting Dog. And this is part three, the third part three, segment three, where I left off after I told Mr. Ortega, who asked me, what are the solutions? And I said I'd get back in 2 weeks where, we'll come up with something to make you all look good and bring a lot of funds and everything. And so, Mary and I, we went out, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? In the meantime, Bob Sanford, the guy that owned California Animal Care, who's planning on doing a mega shelter and funding it with people's life insurance policies. I don't know. It doesn't seem kosher, but that's what he was presenting to all these places. And we went to CVAG, the Coachella Valley Associated of Governments, with Christine Duro, who got the videotape out of the horrific shelter and everything. Well, anyways, they started presenting. Well, Christine starts yelling at them, and everybody, all the major cities that were there around this huge round table, look up at us, and I'm like, it was her, And Mr. Gomer, wonderful man, wonderful man. They're all, they're all like, it's not the time. So, anyways, this beautiful lady, an older woman, tells me, listen, why don't we all meet at our offices at CVAG, Coachella Valley Associated Governments, and we can all talk about that and everything. So I said, sure. So we made an appointment, and Christina and I left. But during this time, was thinking about it, and I go, the only thing that could handle this bureaucratically is Riverside County. It's a huge county, huge county. And so I called Janet McLaughlin over there at Riverside. I said, Miss McLaughlin, how would you like to make millions of dollars for Riverside County and create jobs and do this? I have a plan to where I had come up with this at night. I just woke up and there's this plan in my head. And she goes, sure. Well, I go, this one lady wants to meet, but I'd like to show her what's going on. What's going on? Hello, Bella. She's helping me. What's going on out here in the Coachella Valley? And she'd heard about that and everything. It was on the news. So, anyways, we all met with Corky Larson and everything. And I asked her, I said, well, why don't we go down to Riverside and see the shelter, because they had refurbished a big Weber's bread factory, this huge facility making tons of Weber's bread. They turned it into a state-of-the-art animal facility. It was beautiful. And so anyways, we invited Corky Larson down there, excuse me, to tour the facility. And so Marianne Mott and I, we went down to this place on Harupa, and we toured it, and Corky Larson met us there, and and she was walking around and everything, and she loved it. And I looked at her, and there was this little puppy in this thing, and I looked at the little puppy. I said, how on earth did you get here in this big old universe, end up at this place? And petted it and everything, and then Corky Larson, she was nodding everywhere she went. You saw the wheels turning in her brain, her beautiful brain. What a great lady. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little misty thinking about what a wonderful person she was. And God rest her soul. But we look at each other, and I saw tears in her eyes, and I gave her a hug, and I said, I feel I've won something. And she shakes my hand and goes, you have, son. You've won a lot. And I didn't know the impact or the just the power that what she was saying, telling me. And we left. And then we met again at the Coachella Valley Association of Governments with Aurora Kerr. And it was just all of a sudden they started putting this on. And the Larson Justice Center was named after her. And I called Janice McLaughlin up, and I said, Janice, who is this lady? And so I called and her name was the same as the Justice Department, huge justice place. I asked, is the Larson Justice Center named after this Corky Larson lady? And I guess, you know, and they go, well, yeah. So I called Janice back. Hey, Janice, I found out what all the browning's about, man. She was the queen of the Coachella Valley, man. I mean, anyways, her and I, we became friends because she saw what was going on. She saw what my plan was, what my vision was, what we could do. And then she started bringing it into fruition. So when I came back, what time do oh, yeah, I got a little bit. When I came back to Mr. Ortega and everything, I told him what my plans were, and then we started meeting at CVAG, the Coachella Valley Associated Governments. All the different municipalities met, and they voted on taking a look at it. That's that's how it. Well, let's we'll take a look at it, and see, and Corky was there, and everybody, we all started showing up, and then all the different commissioners and city councilmen that used it, everybody was all like, they were all like really kind of on board with it because what was going on wasn't working, and the Coachella Valley was growing and expanding, and the population was rising. So the facility they built or were contracting with back then just wasn't sufficient enough. Anyways, I mean, the writing on the wall, if you want to have growth in your community, guess what? The animals are going to tag right along with you. So you got to address that issue. And so that's it. And so we started in, and part 4 will be how Corky Larson and Squatting Dog got things rolling. Love